Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends Wolverine's 50th anniversary Logan vs. Sabertooth 2-pack. And in my opinion, as of right now, this is by far the most exciting release that Hasbro has on their schedule. I know we're very early into the year, and I'm sure deeper into 2024 they're going to come out with a bunch of cool stuff, but as of right now, this is the thing that I'm most hyped up about, and the main reason why is because of Sabertooth. I don't think there's really ever been a good figure for this version of Sabertooth, so I'm really hoping this is the one, and it's looking good, so I'm excited. But let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the packaging. We do have like this Wolverine themed packaging that looks really cool. Down here it says Wolverine, up there it says Marvel Legends. Through the window you can see Logan and Sabertooth, so that is very nice. Look at them. You can see all the accessories that they come with as well. And then on the side of the box we get some Sabertooth artwork. Sorry about the glare. There we go. So that's looking nice. And then on the back, ooh, that's dope right there, like a comic book cover type thing. I don't know if that's from an actual comic. It doesn't look too familiar, but it's really dope. Over here we get a little bit of information. Oh, here we go. This looks familiar. Nice. And then on this side of the box we get some Wolverine artwork. Then it says 50 years down here, so that's cool. But yeah, the box does look pretty damn awesome. The figures look amazing in there, but enough about the pretty box. Let's go ahead and get these guys out and take a look. All right, so here we go. Logan and Sabertooth right out of their box. And yeah, man, I think this is a really, really dope set. Both figures turned out very nice. Sabertooth is freaking awesome. He's on a body that we've seen several times before, but I think it works perfectly for Victor Creed, and I'm a big fan of this buck, so I'm happy that they used it, and I think the figure turned out freaking dope. And Logan turned out really good too. He's kind of a pleasant surprise. He has a lot more new parts than I was expecting, and I just think he's really good. He's probably the best Logan figure that Hasbro has done so far, so yeah, both figures turned out nice. I love the way they look next to each other. I think that Sabertooth is a good size compared to Wolverine. He does have like an imposing presence to him, especially next to Wolverine, who's, you know, very short. So yeah, they came out really good. Love the way they look together. Let's go ahead and kick this off by taking a closer look at Logan. And yeah, as far as I could tell, the whole upper body is completely new. The torso is definitely new, and I think the arms are, because I can't think of any other pinless sleeved arms that we've seen so far. And, you know, the fists are probably reuse. The head is obviously new. But yeah, it's cool to see so many new parts on a Wolverine figure. The legs are definitely reuse. As you can see, they have the pins in there. So, you know, they took those from a previous Logan figure. But, you know, the jeans look good and everything. So I'm okay with that. But it would be nice to get these updated with the pinless look. But, you know, it's not too big of a deal. Still think it's a great looking figure. And they did a good job with the new parts up top. And I think they did a pretty good job with the details on Logan. Starting off at the head, this is one of two heads that he comes with. We'll look at the alternate one in just a second, but I think this one looks really good. I like the grumpy facial expression that he has. It's definitely fitting for Logan. It's really well sculpted. The skin tone looks good too, although, you know, there's not a bunch of like paint washes in there or anything like that. But I think it looks nice. The eyes look good. He does have his sideburns, and then he does have that very cool looking cowboy hat. So yeah, that's a great looking head sculpt. Moving on to the body, you can see that he does have chest hair, so that's good. And as I mentioned before, the torso here is completely new. So we have this sculpted shirt that looks really good. You could see some like detail in there, some texture and stuff. That always looks nice. Pinless arms. And yeah, Hasbro definitely needs to work on how they do the elbows. That could look a little crazy, so. And then he does have hairy arms, and the claws are pretty nice too. You know, I think these are good claws when they're set in place, but like on this side, they were a little loose, so they get a little, you know, crooked. But anyways, I think they're good looking claws. And then he does have the belt buckle right here. And the pants are not new. We have seen these before. As you can see, we have the pins in the knees and his boots. But yeah, I think even though the legs are older, I still think they look good. It'd be nice to get him pinless, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, aside from that, I think everything else looks really good. The shirt has some nice detail and nice texture on it. And the head sculpts are awesome. So yeah, I think this is a great looking figure. And then for accessories, Logan comes with two heads. The first one has a brown hat with an angry facial expression, and the alternate head has a black hat with kind of like a smirking face. And there's also more hair and like bigger sideburns on the sides. As you can see, like his ears are completely covered. So It's cool to have the extra hair and stuff. I do wish that the facial expression was a little bit more different. It would have been nice if he came with the facial expression that was straight up angry and furious, you know? But I do like these two head sculpts. And then he does come with two sets of hands. The first set are obviously the fists with the claws popped out. And then for the second set, we get an open hand on the left side and a gripping hand on the right side. And for his final accessory, he comes with these cards. And these are really dope. I love how they have the Xavier X-Men logo on the back. Yeah, these are nice. This is a very cool accessory to include with this style of Wolverine. And then for some very quick head swaps, here we have the new Logan. And as you can see, he is rocking the head that came from the training suit Wolverine. And I think that looks freaking awesome. That's like perfect right there. The skin tones match and it just looks really good. And then over here, we have the X-Men 97 with one of the new Logan heads on there. So that's kind of fun. And then right here we have one of the older Logan Hasbro figures, and the head looks a little small right here actually, and the skin tones don't really match. But yeah, there's some options for you, and I have a few more to share very quickly. Here we have the X-Men 97 animated series Wolverine unmasked head on the Logan body, and it looks good, but the skin tones don't match, unfortunately. But it would look good, damn it. I wish the skin tones matched, because I do like this head sculpt quite a bit. And then here is the patch head sculpt, and is it going to fit on there? It should. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this head sculpt. But it does fit on there. The skin tones don't really match, but you know, it is what it is. And then for the final one, I'll show you a custom head sculpt, and this came from Casting Cave. He hooked me up with this head sculpt. Ooh, that looks really dope. I'll leave a link to Casting Cave's website in the description below, along with his Instagram. Check him out. He always has some really dope custom head sculpts. But yeah, this turned out awesome right here. But I think my favorite is definitely the training suit head sculpt on this body. This is like perfect right here. Damn, I love that. Yeah, that is really, really nice. And as for the articulation, everything is mostly familiar. The only thing that's new here is the diaphragm cut. Aside from that, everything else feels exactly like every other Logan figure that we've seen from Hasbro. But, you know, I'm okay with that. There's definitely enough articulation to have some fun with and get him into the type of poses that you'd want him to get into. So I'm definitely satisfied with the articulation, and I like the diaphragm cut. So good stuff here. But let's go ahead and take a look, starting off with the head. He does have a ball hinge at the neck, so he's able to look up to about right there. But the hair does hinder the upward movement just a little bit. And then he's able to look down to about right there, which, you know, that's pretty good. And then obviously he could look side to side. He does have a little bit of tilt action depending on how you angle the head, but not a whole lot. You know, it's cool to get a little bit in there, but yeah, it's a little limited. But I think for the most part, I'm very happy with the head and neck setup. It's definitely enough. And then for the torso, he does have this awesome diaphragm cut, and that allows him to rock side to side a little bit, so that's nice. And then it could go back to about right there. And then it could go forward to right there. So it would be nice to get a little bit more out of that, but that's still okay. And, you know, it would be super dope if he had a ball joint at the waist, because, you know, then they could work together and you'd be able to get a little bit more out of this whole situation. But yeah, I do like the diaphragm cut. I think I prefer diaphragm cuts over straight up ab crunch. You know, like ab crunch may get you like a deeper range, but it's not as dynamic. I think you could do a little bit more with the diaphragm cut like this. So I would like to see them give some type of diaphragm cut or ball joint at the waist to their costumed Wolverine figures. That'd be really nice. But yeah, I like the diaphragm cut. And then he does have a swivel at the waist. And then for the arms, you know, he's got ball jointed shoulders, so they do go all the way around. He doesn't have any butterfly joint, unfortunately. He's able to swivel at the bicep there. And then he does have double jointed elbows to get a really good bend, but you know, then it starts to look a little crazy. I think that Hasbro hasn't quite mastered the look of, you know, the bent elbow with sleeved arms. So yeah, it looks a little crazy. And then he does have a swivel at the wrist along with the hinge. And yeah, even though there aren't butterfly joints here, you could definitely still get some good things going, you know. slashing. You know, see, like, without the... It'd be nice if he had butterfly joints, but this diaphragm cut actually kind of helps you out with getting these, like, you know, and punching in front of him, slashing type poses, you know, because you could kind of twist it a little bit. It would be nice if he had butterfly joints, though. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, good stuff here at the arms. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with what we have going on with the arms and the upper body in general. And then for the legs, you know, this is all very familiar territory, but he's able to kick to the side to about right there. Man, I wish I could kick up a little bit more. He could kick forward to about right there. Could only go back to about right there. And then he does have upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, a swivel at the foot, rocking ankles. It's a little hindered by the pants, but you know, it's still mostly pretty good. Then you could bring his foot forward to right there, then up to right there. So yeah, like I said, man, nothing mind-blowing, but definitely good enough articulation for Logan. So I'm very happy with it, and I am having fun playing around with this figure. And it's really nice to see some updates in the, you know, Wolverine Logan articulation scheme. Hopefully we see that in some of the other Wolverine figures. Ooh, here we go. The star of the show, Sabertooth. Man, I'm so happy with the way he turned out. This is an awesome looking figure. I love this body that they used. If you're not familiar with it, it's the same buck that we saw on Omega Red, Warpath, and Venom recently. So it's a very good buck for bigger characters, and it just gives them like a big, like imposing, terrifying presence, you know. It's such a good buck for big characters like this, and it's so perfect for Victor Creed here. But look at that, man. This is a great looking figure. And you know, there aren't a whole lot of new parts. The head is new, the mane is new, and the arms are new. It would have been nice if they gave him updated legs without pins, but you know, it is what it is. Aside from that, I really don't have any complaints about this figure. I love the way that he turned out. Check him out, man. He is so freaking awesome. And it just feels good to have a good Sabertooth that just kind of captures the feeling of Sabertooth in the comics, you know, of just some big, like, mean asshole. This figure does that perfectly, so I'm really happy with it. And there aren't a whole lot of details to talk about with Sabertooth, but check out this head sculpt, man. This is so perfect. This and the alternate head are just awesome looking Sabertooth head sculpts, but look at that, man. Look at the detail around the eyes. Look at the teeth. And just a perfect facial expression. He looks insane. He looks like he's screaming and laughing at the same time. And all of it just looks really good. And then he does have the, are these his sideburns? I guess so, right? Sideburns coming out from the side of the mask. The hair on the top. And yeah, this is just a great looking Sabertooth head sculpt. Look at that, man. I love it. And then back here, he does have his mane. Check that out. And the mane is really nice, but it does get in the way of the head articulation a little bit, but it's still very cool. And it is set in place. You don't have to worry about it like falling off or anything weird like that. And it does come down right here and kind of cover the butterfly joint, but doesn't really hinder the articulation. So that's cool. And then look how clean all this is. All the paintwork looks really nice. The arms are new. As you can see, they're pinless. And then they do have the fin thing on the forearm. And this is actually a separate piece. You could take that off if you want. But yeah, look at that. Everything looks really good. I like how the brown goes along with the ab crunch here. That is awesome. And yeah, just everything looks really good, you know. Not a whole lot of detail, but everything that needs to be painted is painted nicely. And the head sculpts are amazing. Yeah, he does have, you know, pins in the knees here. And it would have been nice if they gave him new legs. But, you know, it is what it is. These work. And everything looks good. So yeah, this is a great looking figure. And then Sabertooth also comes with two different head sculpts. The first one is the one that we've already looked at with that crazy, maniacal, just screaming, laughing, completely insane facial expression. And the alternate head has like a very evil, sinister smile. Both head sculpts are just so perfect for Sabertooth. So I really do like them a lot. And then aside from that, he does come with two sets of hands. The first set are like just open, regular clawed hands. And the second set are also clawed hands, hands, but they're just a little bit different. So yeah, he's a little light in the accessories, but I think he has everything that he needs. I mean, what else can you really give Sabertooth, you know, that Hasbro would be willing to do? It'd be nice to get like blood effects or something crazy like that to put on the claws, but you know, that would never happen with Hasbro. So I'm happy with the 2 heads and the 2 sets of hands. And then as for the articulation, obviously there's nothing new here, but this buck does have enough going on to have some fun with, and you could definitely get Sabertooth into some cool poses. So I'm happy with it. But let's go ahead and see what we have going on, starting off at the head. So he does have a ball hinge at the neck, so he's able to look down to about right there, which is pretty nice. So we could look down at Wolverine and stuff. And then looking up, it's a little limited because of the mane. So he's only able to look up to about right there. So it's okay, but definitely not a lot. So if you want to get him to look up a little bit more, you're going to have to get the torso to help you out just a little bit. So once you do that, he's able to look up a good amount. So there you go. But it's definitely limited up here. It's also limited side to side. He can look this way okay, but going the opposite way, his sideburns kind of clash with the mane. I mean, depending on how you have it angled. If you move it around a little bit, you can definitely make it work. But yeah. You know, the mane is definitely causing some issues up here, but, you know, it's one of the essential design elements. So what are you going to do? It is what it is. It's perfectly fine. And then he does get a little bit of tilt action there. So yeah, you know, decent movement at the head, but definitely limited because of the mane. And then for the torso, he does have an ab crunch. So it crunches forward to right there, which is pretty nice. Then it goes back to right there. And then he does have a waist swivel. And then at the arms, he does have some awesome butterfly joints. And, you know, I think they did a good job keeping the mane mostly out of the way of the butterfly joint. So his arm could go back to right there, which is a really good amount. And then they come forward a good amount too, even though the, you know, the hairpiece right here kind of covers up the butterfly joint. I think that it doesn't really bother the range too much because it kind of just moves out of the way. It's not glued down right here. It's secured onto the body up high. So, you know, the arms are still able to move a good amount. And, you know, it covers up the look of the butterfly joint. So that's nice. But look at that. You could definitely get his arms in front of him a good amount. Yeah, so that's nice. Man, I love this figure. Now, when you rotate the arm on the upper bicep, then, you know, his muscle right here on his arm kind of gets in, it kind of clashes with the mane just a little bit. So that may hinder things just a bit. But yeah, I think for the most part, they found a good balance with the mane and the butterfly joint. Look at this guy, man. He's so cool. And they go back a really good amount. So all that worked out really well. Damn, he's so awesome. And then he does have ball joints at the shoulder, so his arms can go all the way around. And then they could come up to the side to about right there. Man, he just has so much attitude. Like everything, he just looks crazy. It looks like he'd be walking up to Wolverine like that. What's up, you runt? Yeah, that's cool, man. And then as I mentioned, he does have the upper bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, they get a pretty good bend. Yeah, there we go. He has a swivel at the wrist and then a hinge at the wrist. And then for the legs, he's able to kick out to the side to about right there. Whoa. So not a whole lot. He could kick forward. Ooh, look at that. He could kick forward to right there. And if you have him crunched forward, it looks even crazier. So that's nice. And then, you know, it only goes back to right there. Then he does have upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee, no lower leg swivel, but at the foot, it's able to go forward to right there, come up to right there, and then rocking ankles. So yeah, you know, obviously there are some limitations and the body doesn't have like the craziest amount of articulation, but this figure is just so much fun to play with because it just has so much attitude and presence. And, you know, the body does enough in the articulation department. So I'm very happy with it. And like I said, I'm just having so much fun playing around with this figure. For a bunch of quick size comparisons, here we have Sabertooth and Logan alongside the Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine and the Marvel Legends Training Suit Wolverine. And I think that Hasbro has done a really good job of keeping the size of Wolverine consistent through all the different figures that they've done of him. Most of them are on the same body. That's a big reason why. But even with like the Logan figures, they're all pretty much the same size. And I think that's awesome. And they're all going to look really good next to this Sabertooth. Next up, we have them alongside the Mafex Brown Suit Wolverine and the Mezco Steel Box Wolverine. And I think that both of these could kind of fit in with this Sabertooth, especially the Mafex Brown Suit Wolverine. He looks really good next to Creed. The Mezco stuff is probably going to look okay next to Sabertooth, but, you know, because of the proportions and the style and stuff, it's kind of going to clash. But as far as the scale goes, I do think that Sabertooth is a good height next to both of these figures. And then here we have them alongside the Mezco Logan and the Marvel Legends Logan / Patch. I think this is the one that came with the motorcycle, correct? Let me know in the comments. But man, this newer one is so much better. I can't remember if there was any other Logans that were released between these two, but in my opinion, this new one is definitely the best Logan that Hasbro has put out. And then here we have them alongside the Marvel Legends Animated Series Cyclops and the Marvel Legends Omega Red. Oh man, I love seeing these guys together. Here we have them alongside the Marvel Legends Deadpool and the Marvel Legends Maverick. And man, I would be so down for a box set of Sabertooth, Logan, and Maverick in their Team X uniforms with the black and the gold trim. That would be so dope. Oh man, that'd be cool if they ever did that, but who knows. But anyways, I love the way all of them look together. And then here we have them alongside the Mafex Gambit and the Toy Biz Marvel Legends first appearance Sabertooth. And this is pretty much the only 1/12 scale Sabertooth figure that I love. This thing is still amazing, such a great figure, and yeah, Gambit looks great next to Sabertooth and Wolverine, so this is all really dope. And then here we have them alongside the Mafex Magneto and the Marvel Legends Magneto. And as much as I love this Sabertooth figure, I would love to see Mafex make a Sabertooth. I think they would do a great job on it. They killed it with Magneto, so I'm sure they would kill it with Sabertooth. And for some more Wolverine villains, here we have them alongside the Marvel Legends Silver Samurai and the Marvel Legends Lady Deathstrike. And for some Brotherhood of Evil Mutants action, here we have them alongside the Marvel Legends Toad and Marvel Legends Blob. To step away from Marvel for a second, here we have them alongside the G.I. Joe Classified Firefly and the Mezco 112 Collective Roadblock. And then last but not least, of course, here we have Sabertooth and Logan alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. Overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I freaking love this 2-pack. I think both figures turned out really, really great. Sabertooth is so freaking dope, man. I'm so happy with the way that he turned out. I think that Hasbro chose the perfect buck for the character. It's big, it's intimidating, it's imposing, and it looks amazing next to Logan. It does have some pretty decent articulation, nothing over the top, but definitely enough to have some fun with, and he came with some cool accessories too. It would have been nice to get a little bit more in there, but I am happy we got two different head sculpts, and in my opinion, both of the heads are like perfect Sabertooth head sculpts. Like, they're awesome. And yeah, man, Hasbro just absolutely killed it on this figure. I am a big fan of this buck, and I love this look for Sabertooth, so I knew I was gonna like it, and I'm just happy that it delivered. The only nitpick I have is that I wish they gave him new legs to go along with the new arms, but aside from that, you know, I don't really have any major gripes. I'm pretty much completely satisfied with the way that he turned out, and it's so nice to finally have a good figure for this version of Sabertooth. In my opinion, I don't think that one exists in this scale or even close to this scale, so I'm happy that Hasbro finally got around to it and they straight up killed it. And then as far as Logan goes, I think this figure is awesome. He looks great next to Sabertooth. He's got a bunch of new parts. The entire upper body is new. It's very well sculpted. You've got that additional articulation with the diaphragm cut, and I just think it's probably Hasbro's best Logan figure. It does feel very familiar because a lot of the articulation feels the same as previous Logans, except for the diaphragm cut. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's a really great figure. I do wish they gave him new legs, but aside from that, I really don't have any problems with this figure, and he did not feel like a burden to buy. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes Hasbro sets up 2-packs where one of the figure isn't very desirable, and one of them is like something that everybody what he wants. In this case, I think both of these figures turned out really good, and no one's going to be mad about having to buy this Wolverine figure to get this Sabertooth. This set is really, really dope. So I'm very happy with it. And just like Scarlet Spider, they felt real good out of the box, like better than previous Hasbro figures. Sabertooth almost has like a matte finish on it. So these guys do feel higher quality. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with this 2-pack, especially with Sabertooth, but Wolverine is really cool too. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live.